Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Gens and Deathnote, taking place here on Echo Isle version 2.2. Well, Gens spawning under the name Mayhem here on the top right hand side of Echo Isle as the blue night elf. Meanwhile, Deathnote spawning as the red human on the top left. Should be a great matchup. As I ring in the new year, happy new year from 2026. Can't believe I've been doing this for over this will be my 17th year casting games in general. So, well, thank you for sticking with me. If it's your first time here, stay a while and listen. If you guys don't want to stay a while and listen, well, yeah, I try to kind of fill in the void in terms of a silence that can happen in the early portions of the game. Now, Human vs. Night Elf should be a great matchup, but we really can't predict what the strategies are going to be until we see those heroes. It is going to be an AM versus a Mountain King. So with the Mountain King here, I am predicting a Blood Mage second, especially with that Demon Hunter out on the prowl, being able to mana burn and shut down that damage early on. Yeah, not that damage, shut down the enemy heroes early on with that mana burn at level 3 and particularly at level 5. Immolation toggled here by the Demon Hunter, picks up Claws of Attack +5 and already making his way back. So this is a very aggressive creep camp here. Gonna go straight after these units, going after the Null Brute and letting that Immolation deal extra damage here. That Null Brute should get taken down, followed by that Null Poacher, and then maybe also going after that Forest Troll to get to level 2. Mountain King has cleared out that Renegade, gonna pick up a Ring of Regeneration, and that's gonna be a nice pickup for that Mountain King early on. He has the item slot right now to just let passive regeneration do quite a bit of healing on that Mountain King, as he also has a Forest Troll Shadow Priest behind. Mountain King opted to go for Bash as that second ability instead of Thunderclap. Very smart, considering the potential of a Demon Hunter. So far, Deathnote and Gens have not engaged against each other yet, as both sides, figuring out what their strategy is going to be for Tier 2. You can see that Deathnote already going to be calling Militia and trying to clear out this Goblin, this Ogre Magi creep camp, this 533 creep camp. Meanwhile, the Tree of Life already being built by Gens as well, so you can expect to see him make his way down there as well. Demon Hunter does pick up a second Cloak of Shadows. Doesn't help him nearly as much, but that is 50 gold that he can take to the thrift store and get a little bit of gold. Alright, coming back around, we're going to see a little bit more Militia trying to clear out the Forest Troll Trapper. Bloodlust increasing their damage. Forest Troll Trapper going to get taken down, leaving the Ogre Magi and the Mountain King trying to get to level 3. Now, Gens has done a great job here trying to deny experience by creeping out his opponent's side of the creep camp here. You can see these green creep camps were cleared alongside the top side here, as the Demon Hunter would still be just shy of level 3. Dual Claws of Attack +5, adding up to 10. Dual Cloak of Shadows, as the Demon Hunter considers his options. Is he going to head back home, drink some Moonwell juice, and then try and get to level 3 first? Or is he just going to go straight after this Ogre Warrior creep camp? Alright, there's that Immolation. There's going to be a bit of damage. Selling that Cloak of Shadows, going straight after that Ogre Magi. Will get to level... Oh, is he going to get to level 3? Yes, he does. Gets an Invul Potion, and now trying to back away, down to 73 hit points, and able to duck away nicely. Tree of Life is already done. That's going to start uprooting and making its way down. Demon Hunter taking the long way round, back home, drink some Moonwell juice, and then perhaps make a beeline move for this expansion over here on the bottom right. However, the Mountain King of Deathnote has some other plans already. There's that Tree of Life. It's ready to uproot. Mountain King should spot this. Demon Hunter is looking pretty strong. It does have Mana Burn as that level 1 ability. Are we perhaps going to see a Stormbolt go down? Mountain King wants to Stormbolt the Forest Troll Berserker. Mana Burn onto the Mountain King. There's Immolation. One Footman could get taken down. No, Footman able to back away. Forest Troll Berserker, no, gets taken down here. Alright, a little bit more damage going back around. There goes another Mana Burn Stormbolt onto an Archer. So Gens well, losing quite a bit of units there. Mountain King did get mana burned twice, but the Mountain King having 2 bullets in the chamber, able to shut down that Forest Troll Trapper and that Archer, representing large amounts of damage. As the Mountain King looks to retreat back home here, well, what is that Demon Hunter going to do? Perhaps buy a Staff of Teleportation and join up on this Tree of Life. What is he going to do? Nope, just sells that Cloak of Shadows. Does have Boots of Speed, knowing that he cannot easily catch up to that Mountain King. Clarity Potion, Scroll of Regeneration, easily for that Mountain King right there. Picks up another Scroll of Regeneration just in case he wants to heal out on the battlefield, as the lumber mill now being built back at home. Now, Jens does have a fair amount of lumber sitting in the bank or in the works, as the Tree of Life has not yet rooted to, well, start trying to, well, get gold out of this gold mine. Are we going to see a little bit of damage here? Mountain King, Stormbolt onto the Forest Troll Shadow Priest, inbound. We're going to see a little bit of damage. There's a bash there. Mountain King needs a little bit more mana, but he may end up getting mana burned again before he's able to get another bullet off in the chamber. There's that other mana burn. Using that second Clarity Potion would have been a little bit of a risky move here, as we now see a Naga Sea Witch by Jens. All right, so Jens with the Naga Sea Witch as that second hero, Cold Arrows, well, picking off that Forest Troll Shadow Priest there. Mountain King trying to use a Clarity Potion, now heading back off to the north, perhaps going to regroup with, no Blood Mage yet, as the Town Hall still needs another 60 seconds to go. This is the time where Jens needs to use his technological advantage, or the fact that he has a second hero out to pick off and punish Deathnote. Deathnote, however, is already banking a fair amount of gold, and once Tier 2 hits, he's going to have plenty of opportunities to spend it. That is going to be the key point here. How much can he really spend? Are we going to see perhaps a Stormbolt onto the Demon Hunter? Demon Hunter trying to, well, fall back here. There's going to be a little bit more damage onto the Footman. Mountain King could Stormbolt, and then we'll get a little bit of separation here, as the other 2 lower hit point Footmen once again getting a little bit of damage. All right, Mountain King wants to back away. Doesn't want to make it easy for the Demon Hunter to mana burn. And, well, we're going to see all of these regroup right here. There's a Scroll of Regeneration. There's a Clarity Potion once more, as we are looking at full saturation at that Tree of Life expansion. Naga Sea Witch sitting at level 1. Demon Hunter, well, dropping some items, and we're going to see a Claws of Attack and Rings of Protection swap here, as that Demon Hunter jumps from 5 armor up to 11. Meanwhile, Mountain King down here on the southern side, going to try and clear things out. Mana burn inbound. Stormbolt finishes off. There's a mana burn there. Immolation to try and pick off more units. Are we going to see some Cold Arrows? We need to see some Cold Arrows. There's a Cold Arrow there. We're going to see one. Well, no dead Footman yet. Mountain King trying to get in front. There's going to be one dead Footman. There's going to be perhaps another dead Footman if the Demon Hunter can land his hit. And now the Naga Sea Witch here as well, just trying to, well, ensure more damage as well. A lucky bash by the Mountain King, as, well, not lucky enough to save the Footman, as the units are now retreating back once more. We are getting up an Archmage. All right, so Archmage as the second hero, as we see casters coming in behind this. I would not be surprised if it was Brilliance or a first, but then again, well, the AM would just be acting as a passive mana battery, as there is going to be Brilliance or a first, as the Ancients of Lore perhaps already going to have Abolish Magic, making short work of those level 1 water elementals, and further feeding the experience of the Demon Hunter, who's getting close to level 4, and that level 2 Naga Sea Witch. All right. Rifle casters coming online here. We're seeing more priests getting added in as well. Currently, needing to train quite a few of those. Scrolls of Regeneration are going to go out of style most likely now, as the AM now makes his way off to the north. The majority of the creep camps have already been cleared out. Only, well, the Ogre Magi, remember, from that marketplace has been taken out already. Renegade Wizard here, Demon Hunter as at level 4, Naga Sea Witch gonna perhaps clear the level 4 and level 3 creeps here, and then gonna get that much closer to level 3, as we're gonna look at that final kobolds left from this creep camp. Mountain King clearing up the remainder of this Forest Troll Trapper. Priest are out here on the battlefield. Riflemen do have the range upgrade as the Archmage gets to level 2. It is going to be Blizzard as that second ability, so a very nice call there. Oftentimes we see human players go for water elementals early on, but then needing to tech to Blizzard as the water elementals will just feed experience, and that Blizzard does start to rack up damage onto those Druids of the Claw. Druids of the Claw already at Adept training, looking to get to Mastery here in just a moment, as Deathnote already in low upkeep. Meanwhile, well, Jen's sitting at 48 over 70, trying to bank as much gold as he can before, well, breaking into high upkeep here. All right, Ancient Protectors, no Nature's Blessing that I see. More Wisp still being trained. I don't know quite why we need that many. Well, it looks like he did burn through a lot of his lumber, so needing quite a bit of Wisp and also getting that Wellspring upgrade too. Mountain King going after these Moonwells and attacking at the start of Nightfall. There is better regeneration for the Night Elf units at Nightfall, if you remember, but not going to be enough to really make that big of a difference as we're looking at some repairs underway. Stormbolt, Fork Lightning, Peasants are going to get taken down, and, well, Wisp now being forced to call back. Blizzard, well, onto his own units. Deathnote not looking too strong there, but is creating a little bit of a wall of separation. That's all he wants to do. Make sure that those bears in that front line spot aren't able to dive in easily onto that back line of casters. Invul Potion there. Spellbreakers getting added in once more. A couple of slows. Mountain King does not have enough for a Stormbolt, even though there is a low hit point. Druid of the Claw off on the side. He's going to perhaps try and well, drink some Moonwell juice, get some rejuvenations going, and then transform back out onto the battlefield again. Deathnote is pushing in strong, getting Arcane Towers as well, and this is going to be a problem. Priestess of the Moon now as the third and final hero here does go for True Shot Aura. That's going to help the Dryads as we're still looking at the Blizzard raining down damage. Druids of the Claw getting picked off slowly, but those Spellbreakers have to be very careful. They have normal armor, meaning that the Druids of the Claw do deal big bonus damage against them. Spellbreakers are falling, so the front line is starting to go away. Archmage finally out of mana, meaning no more Blizzard. But is there enough Druids of the Claw to actually push in here? 71 supply compared to 59. Home field advantage. Is it going to make a difference as the Druid of the Claw gets stabbed at Preservation off to the side here? He could transform back and then, rejuvenate himself, but that's still not looking too strong. Priestess of the Moon, well, only there for auto attacks right now. A little bit more healing once again. And we're still seeing more damage come back here. All right, more Moonwells being constructed, and this is more of a defensive maneuver, getting in a little bit more Moonwell healing. All right, Mountain King low on mana. Ancients of Lore are going to get pressured. Ancient Protectors are getting taken out here, and this could all be stemming from the fact that there is no Nature's Blessing. Guard Towers are up. Deathnote is going to be, well, just trying to stick it to gens right now, as there are dual Arcane Towers here, making it difficult for the Naga Sea Witch to finish things off with Fork Lightning. Druids of the Claw are engaging, but they're not engaging against the Riflemen. Units are still trying to engage back here. Demon Hunter down to, well, 205 hit points. He needs to find a way to get a rejuvenation off, and that is not going to be easy, as all of these Druids of the Claw are relatively low on mana. Full Moonwell down here. Demon Hunter takes a quick sip, ready to get back into action. Ancient of Lore, well, in a bit of a pickle here, needs to get some repairs. That is a lot of Wisp off of the line here, and, well, Rifle Casters not effective against buildings, as we can see. Ancient of Lore is going to be able to hold on ever so barely as an Arcane Vault added to this forward outpost. The Mountain King of Deathnote quite comfortable here as the Archmage not bearing gifts, just comes back to the battlefield here. There's invisibility on the Mountain King. That's always a dangerous proposition. There's Blizzard raining down Stormbolt. Staff of Preservation shakes that off as the Demon Hunter, is he going to try to get some more rejuvenations going? Perhaps one of these Druids of the Claw need to stay in Druid form, hang back, and just constantly rejuvenate, and drinking from the Moonwells to be very mana efficient. Both sides still fighting their way through. Stormbolt onto a Druid of the Claw. He's going to back away. Demon Hunter getting, well, shut down there. There's a Fork Lightning level 2 on the Priestess of the Moon, and the Priestess of the Moon perhaps now going to use Owl Scouts to keep track of any invisible Mountain King play. Demon Hunter, however, falls at level 4. Mountain King now up to level 5. Naga Sea Witch up to level 4. There's a Staff of Preservation. Are we going to see a resurrection here as we're looking at, well, Druids of the Claw about to fall? There goes, no, doesn't get taken down. That one gets taken down instead. Apparently he didn't get the order to retreat. All right, little bit more damage. Slow poison. Backing up 64 supply compared to 68. Demon Hunter, however, needs to get resurrected, and he's going to get resurrected at the tavern. Naga Sea Witch is sitting at 4, so could try and perhaps get some Fork Lightning damage to initially start. All right, Druid of the Claw able to transform in time to join in on the fight. We're going to see, well, damage there. Staff of Preservation for a save again, so dual Staff of Preservations. Priestess of the Moon still not joining in on that staff party here as the Mountain King now getting back up once more. All right, towers are constantly just getting repaired here. Just auto repair on all of those wisps. Priestess of the Moon has no easy AoE damage to try and rack up onto those units, as the Naga Sea Witch also now carrying an Orb of Venom, and also the Demon Hunter. So triple Orb of Venom, that's going to be a lot of stacked damage over time. Even with the heals, I believe the damage over time on triple Orb of Venom stack is more than enough here. All right, no masonry upgrades. We're just seeing some repairs. Guard tower able to do a little bit of poking. Rifleman trying to finish off there. Well, there goes a Dryad again. Blizzard now raining down. And this is just a beautiful hold by Jens, using that level 2 Blizzard to, well, try to shut things down. All right, Naga Sea Witch could be in trouble. Going to go ahead and use a Scroll of Town Portal to back away. You're going to see a little bit of a dive here. Archmage could try and reposition and then perhaps land another, well, land another Blizzard here on those tightly clumped units. There's level 3, level 2 Blizzard. Naga Sea Witch falls at level 4. There's that, well, Blizzard now raining down so much damage across all of those Druids of the Claw. And then once the Druids of the Claw are low on hit points, 1 or 2 of them are low on hit points, you can better believe a Stormbolt and a Rifleman Focus Fire are able to get the job done. All right, Peasants still on massive repair, trying to finally take down these Ancients of Lore. Another Druid of the Claw gonna get lost here. 70 supply compared to 80. Jens actually has the supply advantage. It's just all of these towers holding, well, Jens hostage at this point. Meanwhile, gold mines have about 5 minutes of mining left in the main gold mines, still about 10 minutes left mining in the expansions, as the Blizzard shuts down all of those wisps right there. So Archmage just got to level 3, and with that Blizzard able to, well, focus down and, well, chip away at so many units, now nearing level 4. All right, if you thought the Mountain King was scary before with level 1 Brilliance, or a wait for level 2, and suddenly that Mountain King seemingly has, well, Storm Bolts for days. What can Jens really do to get back into this game here? That is a tough call. You can see there's a large number of Druids of the Claw here. There's a Staff of Preservation. Demon Hunter now in that forward spot. He got Staff of Preservation straight into the fray, as the Druids of the Claw have to be very careful. If they try to dive in across all of these Riflemen, you're going to see them take quite a bit of damage here. Mountain King trying to finish off one Druid of the Claw there. It's going to get taken down. Another one could get taken down as well. And we're just looking at bear after bear after bear getting taken out. Well, you can hardly bear it as the Demon Hunter falls at level 4, now giving level 6 to the Mountain King. Mountain King dangerously low on hit points, down to 2 hit points. Mountain King falls at level 6. That is a very expensive hero to resurrect. 54 supply for Deathnote compared to 43. We now have level 3 on the Priestess of the Moon, so that's going to be level 2 a true shot, or a, but the army size is still dramatically different. New Ancient Protector right off over there. Are we going to see some repairs to try and, well, chip away at that Ancient Protector off at the north? More Druid of the Claws here. We're going to see some damage go across. 49 supply compared to 56. And, well, resurrections are going to be in order. Demon Hunter, is he going to try to get back in here? Archmage sitting at level 5 here. Priestess of the Moon sitting at level 4. We don't see any real heals. Units trying to retreat back. Druid of the Claw trying to hang back here. Perhaps should be in Druid form to get a little bit more mana going, but still not looking all that strong. Repairs are underway for that Ancient Protector. Fortified armor doing its thing. Demon Hunter getting ready to join back in on the fight here. Druids of the Claw joining in from the southern Ancient of Lore, as the northern Ancient of Lores have both been taken out. All right, more repairs are going to be needed. Tree of Eternity trying to hold things off here. Priestess of the Moon coming back here. Demon Hunter sitting at level 4. Are we going to see some damage? Perhaps some mana burn. Finishing off a couple of those priests are going to be, well, key, as there's only one more priest trying to keep this entire human army all healed up. There's that Druid of the Claw getting that rejuvenation that I mentioned earlier. He's going to be able to get back up to maybe about 400 hit points and still fighting each and every way. Priestess of the Moon starting to chip away. Fork Lightning. Suddenly there's low hit point units. Staff of Preservation for the Druid of the Claw. Does not get him out of harm's way. He does get out of harm's way, away from those other guard towers, and he's just holding steady right there. Rifleman, however, shoots him in the back, putting that bear down. All right, Druid of the Claw off on the north side here. Could try and heal up again. Are we going to see a rejuvenation onto the Demon Hunter? We are. Transforming again, and here we go. That Druid of the Claw back and ready for action. Mountain King now also back and ready for action. Clarity Potion ready to move forward again. Mountain King does have the Avatar ability, but well, it doesn't necessarily have the mana to do it just quite yet. Level 3 Blizzard could cause problems. There's a Fork Lightning trying to find some low hit point units to pick up. Demon Hunter is amongst all of these units here. Archmage could be in trouble. Archmage down to 105 hit points. He's going to, well, quaff that potion of healing and now retreat its way back again. All right. Stormbolt onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter down to 250 hit points. Going to go back the other way. There's a mana burn onto the Mountain King, as we're still looking at both sides still fighting their way through. Level 5, level 4, both sides pushing back the other way. Demon Hunter needs to find a way to heal, as, well, repairs are underway still on that Ancient Protector off to the north. All right, Tree of Eternity ready to retreat away now. Just step back and say, you know what? I've got legs. I can move, and I have Nature's Blessing. All right, he's going to start eating up a little bit more. And are we going to perhaps see some Blizzard raining down here? There's Avatar. There's going to be some repairs. And now there's that Blizzard. That is just going to eat away at all of those wisps right there. Are we going to see some mass detonations? No, we are not. They're just diving onto the towers themselves. Meanwhile, oh, Staff of Preservation. Is he going to save the Mountain Demon Hunter? No, it is not. Demon Hunter ends up getting taken down. Staff of Preservation use, if you are not careful, can be hazardous to the hero's health, and that's exactly what we saw there. Level 5, level 4 going up against a level 6, level 5. Well, I guess that's one benefit of having Tri-Hero. Losing one hero doesn't shut things down nearly as much. Nagasiwich, how we're trying to retreat back away, gets bashed again. Does get a potion of healing at that, well, Ancient of Wonders, and now still continuing to fall back. Here's some Mountain Giants now ready to join in on the fight. There's some Moonwell, and that is, well, that is some deep dive here, as both sides are going to perhaps try to put some pressure back the other way. This Tree of Eternity has been able to stay alive here across the board. We're still seeing more damage go down as we see a quick taunt, and now that Spellbreaker, well, quickly tries to attack that Mountain Giant, only to realize, wait, there was the order to retreat. Demon Hunter back out onto the battlefield. One Spellbreaker now down. 42 supply compared to 48. We are now looking at one base to one base, but that's 3 minutes of mining versus 5. All right. Ultra Vision for further, further night viewing. AM at level 5. Mountain King sitting at level 6. Jens is not out of this game at all with these 3 heroes. And if he can hold on and trade efficiently, he'll have an additional 3 minutes of mining over his opponent. All right, Demon Hunter trying to get ready to engage here. Nagasiwich unable to get a Fork Lightning off. We see some long-distance mining from that gold mine on the opposite side of the field. So I guess some gold will still be had. Coming back through, Demon Hunter gets Storm Bolted there. We're going to see some mana burns go down across these units. There's a Fork Lightning and a mana burn taking down a priest. And it might be just one of those priestly battles now every single time. There's a Staff of Preservation. The Staff of Preservation actually saving that particular unit there. Tree of Eternity going, now heading, well, into the middle of the field. Perhaps going to try and take down a couple of Spellbreakers. All right, both sides fighting. We're going to see some cold, wow, that is going to, cold arrows coupled with Orb of Venom, coupled with damage. There's another mana burn again. There's a Staff of Preservation as the Demon Hunter, well, going to, well, perhaps try and engage against this peasant here. He is currently slowed away from all of that action. Stormbolt down onto a Nagasiwich. but still the Naga Sea Witch seems under enough coverage right now, not getting caught out of position. Slow poison, venom, damage over time, all of those are getting added in. Tree of Eternity is still right there. Wisps hanging on. We're looking at 50 over 70 supply. And oh wow, the gold discrepancy, because Deathnote is still in low upkeep. He is only getting 7 gold a second compared to the full 10. Stormbolt onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter could be in a little bit of trouble. He constantly is taking damage. Are we going to see some more mana burns? There goes another Spellbreaker. And this War of Attrition is starting to tip in favor of Death in Gens now, as Deathnote is down to 52 supply, while Gens still has 1,000 gold in the bank. All right, 360 gold left in that gold mine. Dryad's going to get ready, get into position. Mountain King, quick Stormbolt onto the Demon Hunter. A little bit of damage. Demon Hunter down to 157. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble trying to retreat back here. Is he going to be able to heal? Staff of Preservation for a save. Gets him out of combat, at least, as we're now fighting his way through. Mountain King, that invisible Stormbolt really tipping the scales right there. Not having the Owl Scout, a major setback, as the Druid of the Claw still fighting. There goes another Stormbolt. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation from the Demon Hunter? Yes, we do. Down at the last possible second as the Priestess of the Moon. Demon Hunter going to be in trouble. Down to 47, 38. Doesn't drink from the Moonwell in time. Naga Sea Witch could also fall as well. This is going to be a problem as the Demon Hunter falls at level 5. It felt like Gens was holding on and was going to be able to fight back into this game, losing the level 5 Demon Hunter and having the Naga Sea Witch be so low on hit points may have, well, stalled that proposition out. All right, Priestess of the Moon trying to hold the door here. Naga Sea Witch off over here. The Druids of the Claw, they should actually be back in a Druid form. Drink Moonwell juice and then start casting Rejuvenation. 45 supply compared to 49. And the army sizes are about similar as the Demon Hunter goes straight, or Mountain King goes straight after the Naga Sea Witch. Naga Sea Witch finally gonna fall. Naga Sea Witch falls at level 5. Demon Hunter back in the game right now. AM still looking strong. Mountain King gets up to level 7, but I don't think the Demon Hunter can carry this team or this game on its back. We're down to 440 gold. Still mining gold here. Priestess of the Moon trying to hang back here. Demon Hunter gets a anti-magic shell. There's a mana burn. And retreating back again. We're looking at a Naga Sea Witch here. Little bit of damage. Dryad could get taken down. There's some Blizzard. And Mountain King taking a little bit of damage. Spellbreaker does get taken out. 49 compared to 43. Now the mana burn's going down again. Archmage sitting at level 6. We're going to see some cold arrows go down. Naga Sea Witch does have boots of speed and continuing to put in the pressure. Dryad, this Dryad here, well, gonna remove the slow, pick off another sorceress again. And now it is 41 supply compared to 49. Gens, that additional economy that he's had and the fact that he hasn't been losing gold to income tax and upkeep is absolutely huge. There's still 320 gold left in that gold mine. That is a very long walk to get 10 gold for on the backs of those peasants. And, well, Gens, if he's able to just slowly pick off all of those peasants, this game could be over, as the Tree of Life here now up on the move again. Where is that Tree of Eternity? Tree of Eternity just in the middle of the map now. Not quite sure where he wants to go. Perhaps even heading off to the north here to try and handle that gold mine, that rock golem creep camp. All right. 63 supply over 90. We're looking at Ancients of Lore cranking out units down here on the southern side. Mountain King gonna go ahead and clear out the things off to the north here. And what is happening here? All right, Deathnote not gonna get to level 6 off of this creep camp. There's an Owl Scout there. Units, army, gonna, well, head off to the north. There's only one real place left to mine any additional gold as the Demon Hunter sits at 6. Well, are we going to catch some of this action here? 67 or 63 supply compared to 41. All right, unit's going to try and engage. The army of Gens seemingly outlasting his opponent. One peasant already down. Another peasant going to be down here. There's the Owl Scout. Are we going to see a mana burn? No Stormbolt. Oh, there's that mana burn. There's that Stormbolt. Anti-magic potion well, stopping that in its tracks already. There's another mana burn. Mountain King suddenly out of mana. Spellbreakers are there. 62 supply compared to 32. Blizzard actually took down many of his own peasants there, as the Archmage has not gotten a single kill yet. Mountain King going to be in trouble. Deathnote trying to retreat back here. Demon Hunter trying not to die, and Deathnote instead throws in the towel. Gens outlasts Deathnote in this marathon match here on Echo Isle version 2.2. The resource score, perhaps the big difference there, not losing... Oh, God, sorry, resources. There we go. Gold lost to upkeep, a 3,000 gold difference, or 2,500 gold difference in terms of losing to upkeep, made a drastic difference overall. Also, having 3 heroes meant that even though you took down one, it wasn't as lopsided as Deathnote really thought it should be. Deathnote had Gens up against the ropes for quite a while, but could never finish him off due to strong play. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.